Okay, so the statement that they gave, the communique for the four countries, which was hosted by Russia, which included Turkey, Iran, and this was all about Syria, was that they reaffirmed their desire to preserve Syria's territorial integrity and the need to intensify efforts for the speedy return of Syrian refugees to their homeland. So this is all part of the Middle East realignment. It's going on in multiple places where America has left and China and Russia have moved in. So here's what each side has, because the Syrians and Assad and Turkey and Erdogan have been enemies ever since the Syrian civil war began in 2011. Erdogan, who's coming up for an election, is under intense pressure to send back the millions of Syrian refugees who've taken refuge in Turkey. There's an increasing anti-refugee sentiment in Turkey, and there's also a steep economic downturn going on in Turkey. Syria is basically dependent upon Iran and Russia. Syria wants control again. The only thing that Turkey and Syria have in common is they both want the U.S. out of Syria, and that they're both against the Syrian Democratic Forces, the mainly Kurdish militia that is aligned with the United States, to both get rid of them. For the Russians want quiet here. They want stability because they want their advanced new air base and naval base to stay there, because that's what they won from the Syrian war. And the Iranians want to basically turn Syria into another Iranian proxy, like they have in Lebanon, and like they're actually doing now in Iraq through their popular mobilization units and influence in the Iraqi government. So this is part of the realignment. That is the vacuum that has been filled by the anti-American axis of Russia, China, and Iran. In the South, that went on between Saudi Arabia and Iranians' rapprochement going on. I think the reaction is going to be based upon what they actually put into action. So if the Iranians start, through their proxies, start attacking the American soldiers in Syria, or work with Turkey to get rid of the Syrian Democratic Forces, then we'll see if America has a reaction or if they'll do what they did in Afghanistan, leave. Turkey wants to get rid of the Syrian refugees in Turkey, but they also want to destroy the SDF. They feel all the Kurds that are in northern Syria are part of the PKK, a terrorist organization. And the Turks also have been protecting many of the Sunnis who fought against Assad, but they have some very radical Al-Qaeda-like elements, ISIS-like elements that have hidden in their area that they control in the northwest of Syria. So America will have to react here, but the American sentiment is basically to leave. The problem is that this will turn eventually into a major American problem. There is a possibility. Listen, we think back to the last administration, under the Trump administration, he wanted to remove American soldiers from Syria and was talked out of it by his military and defense advisors. It is definitely possible. There has already been multiple Iranian instigated attacks against American soldiers in different places in Syria. And if America starts getting more casualties, there'll be pressure again for Biden to remove the soldiers, saying that it is not in America's interest to be there. So I think it is definitely a possibility. It would be a major mistake for that to happen.